Okay, this is just getting ridiculous now. Last time on Keeping Up with the Madridistas. After losing out on every trophy faster than Arsenal ever could, tension in the dressing room quickly turned into an actual soap opera. Manager Alvaro Arbeloa was being accused of neglecting some of his players. Antonio Rudiger and Alvaro Carreras got into an argument which may or may not have resulted in Carreras being slapped. Mbappe got into it with the coaching staff. And then the entire Real Madrid fanbase. And then during the last episode, I mentioned reports of a fight between Aurelien Tchouameni and Federico Valverde. Now, remember when I told you all to be cautious about this and wait until further development would come out? Well, it's real. And it's funnier than anything else that has happened so far. It all started last Wednesday when during a session at Real Madrid's Valdebebas training ground, Aurelien Tchouameni was on the receiving end of a hard challenge from Federico Valverde. The Frenchman was not too happy about this and confronted Valverde. This then created a whole ass argument that carried on into the dressing room, and it got so bad that the two almost came to blows with each other. However, later after the incident, the two players finally calmed down, talked things out, and then made hot, sweaty, passionate I'm kidding. The situation got so much worse after this. Less than 24 hours later, Valverde refused to shake Tchouameni's hand. Then during the session itself, Valverde put in multiple hard challenges on Tchouameni, to which the Frenchman did not react. The two were then put on the same team during another portion of training that involved players being split into two sides. It was then when reportedly Valverde told Tchouameni, quote, he was lucky to avoid having to face him. Okay, let's pause for a second. What the hell could have possibly made Valverde this pissed off? Well, it turns out Valverde, in his soul, believed the person who leaked the initial altercation was Aurelien Tchouameni. And while training finished a few hours in, Valverde certainly wasn't, as he constantly kept accusing and insulting Tchouameni. But as the old saying goes, fuck around a little too much, and you'll find out.
The weak should quiver when a nice guy gets angry.
From there, everything quickly spiraled into a full-blown WWE match, with Aurelien probably beating Valverde's ass. Then, at some point during the brawl, Valverde busted his head on a table and lost consciousness. Tchouameni deadass sent this man to the hospital with amnesia. I'm actually finished, bro. Now, if Fede was that mad about the initial altercation being leaked out to the public like that, I can only imagine how he was feeling when all of this came out. Because what followed was one of the funniest days to be on Twitter in a long time.
What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened?
Laffy, listen to me, brother. Hit the park gates, lad. You're gonna get the chopper on you, lad. Slow down, lad.
Get the tunes on, someone get the tunes.
Calm down, hit the right lane, slow down, slow right down, hit the left, slow right down, lad.
And all of this hilarity was spearheaded by Real Madrid news account Madrid Zone, who was one of the first to spread the news to the public. Now, I must stress this, just like any news organization, you cannot take everything that this account says seriously, especially since they mostly just translate reports that are coming out from Spanish media. But with that all said, this was like a car crash you couldn't keep your eyes away from. Because while the fight itself was hilarious, just prime time television, the chaos that followed this initial incident, whether it actually had anything to do with it or not, was comedy gold. 1 minute Madrid Zone tweeted about Valverde leaving training in a wheelchair. The next, news was coming out about how Ferland Mendy is thinking about retirement. Just today though, most sources have actually refuted that. All of a sudden though, we were being told that Real Madrid was having its own Gio Reyna incident. And all the while this was going on, it turned out that allegedly some of the players between themselves were calling manager Alvaro Arbeloa a cone. And once he found out about this, he just stopped playing them entirely. But apparently the animosity towards Arbeloa goes way deeper than that. Eduardo Camavinga was upset after being subbed out in one of Arbeloa's first games. Dani Carvajal confronted Arbeloa for benching him against Valencia. Alvaro Carreras wasn't too happy with Arbeloa either. Meanwhile, David Alaba was just flat out not even talking to the coach. And then there was Dani Ceballos, who decided to, quote, end his relationship with Arbeloa. Were they dating or something? It was also reported that there were, quote, gang wars in the Real Madrid dressing room. By the way, I love how Madrid Zone formats these tweets because it makes it about 10 times funnier. Just in, Tchouaméni is very sad. Breaking. Federico Valverde suffered from temporary amnesia after getting knocked out. He was forgetting things. There really is just like an art form to this. I don't know. Okay, but how the hell was any of this information even coming out in the first place? Like, there has to be some rat in the club that is leaking this information to the media, right? Well, after realizing this, Real Madrid made a trap to catch whoever the rat was. Now, let me say that again. Real Madrid made a trap to catch whoever the rat was. The rat leaked the plan as well. You also had some accounts shitposting with their own made-up reports, like this one. That was from a Barcelona account, by the way, and speaking of, that fan base must have been having the time of their lives. I mean, shit, even the official Barcelona account chimed in with some shade. Enough of that, though. How did Real Madrid's circle respond to all this? Aurelien Tchouaméni released an apology directed towards his teammates and the fan base, kept it simple enough. Valverde, on the other hand, though, had a bit more to say about the situation. He said, quote, "Clearly, someone here is spreading rumors, and with the season without titles, where Real Madrid is always under scrutiny, everything gets blown out of proportion." Valverde also added he didn't hit any teammate, nor did any teammate hit him, and he also, quote, accidentally hit a table, causing a small cut on his forehead that required a routine visit to the hospital. Real Madrid released a medical report on him a couple hours later that said he was diagnosed with cranioencephalic traumatism and would be out for 2 weeks. He might be the worst liar to ever do it. Now I'm just kind of wondering to myself, though, how is Real Madrid's North Korea propaganda TV show gonna show this incident?
Decided to provide a valuable lesson on how to protect the rim. Nikola Jokic was eager to learn, so he rushed over to give Jaden a hug of appreciation.
Anyways, once the dust finally settled, the club punished both Tchouaméni and Valverde by fining them $500K each. Oh, you thought there was more? No, there's not. In fact, Arbeloa decided to start Tchouaméni in Real Madrid's very next game versus Barcelona. No suspension or anything. For the first time since 2009-10, Real Madrid has officially gone trophyless for a second straight season. By the way, you might be wondering, there's been quite a lack of Mbappe in this video. Where's he been? Well, during El Clasico, an injured Mbappe at home took a photo of the broadcast with the caption, "A la Madrid." Now, I want you to take a closer look at that scoreboard. Is he hate watching his own team? By the way, probably a good time to mention this. Real Madrid is thinking about bringing in Jose Mourinho next season. At this rate, man, there's a chance we get an episode of Keeping Up with the Madridistas every week next season. But what do you guys think? Will it get any better? Well, I mean, in the last video, I literally asked that same question, and within a day, it actually got worse. So maybe we all just have to accept the fact that it's only gonna get worse from here. But hey, maybe next season, the power of friendship will come back with Jose Mourinho. Of course, though, a massive shout out to all our members, including Janos Balas, and my before Janos Balas, German Sayu 7, Jeremiah Owusu Ajimang, Django, Anazima Kalankam, Alex Rod, Kentra Gacha, Saint Terrence, Sylvia Citrus, Cheesebait, Winder Gel, Finn Likes Rugby More, Davox, The Portugizer, Wise Orange, Polo Protos, Von Fan, A Ghostly Owl, Coney Wolves, Lickstab, Matanai, Apollo, Thrilling ADT13, Los Milas, The James Braun, Vecino, Napside, Money Cash Hose, Quantavious Pork, Lilia Lover, Stewed Monk, Red Yellow, Fuxia, MXN, Ryan McGuire's Love Toenail, Flakito, Thierry's Thoughts, Julian Alvarez Glazer 7, Barca Blanco, Mark GB, Kev C, Dominic Griffin, Kyler Kress, Mohammed Altanib, Nish, Patrick Brawley, Rashford Got 5, Raspberry Ale, and Unbroken Persona. If you'd like to become a member on the channel, there'll be a link down below and up in the annotations. You can follow me on my Twitter if you want, follow me on Instagram if you like. You can also follow my Twitch because I will be doing a Champions League final watch-along stream. I'll also be doing some other watch-along streams with the other Arsenal games that are coming up pretty soon. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Also, a big thank you for all the support on those streams as of late because they've been so much fun. But yeah, I'm done talking. I'll see you guys.